It is Bronze and Modern Gods bonus episode time. I'm John. That guy over there is Richard. What's up, handsome?
Hi, how you doing, John?
I'm doing okay. Hey, if you are not following us on Facebook and Instagram, Bronze and Modern Gods. Hey, it's a good time to follow us on Instagram because tonight we are having a live sale Friday, August 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Join Richard and I as we sell books.
Yes. And have fun. We also have fun.
Yeah, lots of unusual stuff you don't see on other live sales. In my case, I got a lot of Mexican foil variants to sell, a lot of Bronze Age stuff, obscure oddball things. And Richard, you always bring the fire. You always bring the heat.
Yeah, I have more modern slant than John has, but between the two of us, we got the whole gamut covered.
Exactly. Then it's 8 p.m. tonight if you're on the East Coast, and 5 p.m. Pacific if you're in the place to be, the best coast, the West Coast. You know how we do. Also, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And let's get right to viewer mail. What do you think?
You've got mail.
Our first piece of viewer mail is from Prince of Cheese on Instagram. If I'm going to be royalty over something, I think it would be cheese. Hi, not sure if you're still doing viewer mail. Yes, every Friday. Okay, Prince. But I watched most of your back catalog this weekend and loved the show. Thank you. I'm 29, me too. And after a long hiatus from collecting, I'm back. Super fun to watch John's beard change colors over the course of the day.
Oh, it is true.
I'll have you know it's been a rough 2 years, okay? I had the goal of having a few comics worth pressing by the end of the year, but I accidentally crushed all my goals from 3 collections, and now I have a bunch of Copper Age keys. Congrats. A spotty run of Sandman with the important ones. Caliber Presents 1 and 15. The Crow 1 through 3. A bunch of Turtles in the single digits and teens. And Faust number 1. So my question is, why did you guys let Faust happen? This is awful. Was everyone sad then? I'm going to cry. Can I return it to North Star Publications? Do I need to buy more because Sony's making it into a cartoon? Well, Prince of Cheese, Faust. Wow, you're taking me back. Silver Wolf Publications, right? Faust, David Quinn. For those of you who are 29 and don't know what Faust was, it was an adults-only, super violent, nudie comic, independent black and white that was just something else, man. Every issue was boobs and gore.
I did not pick this up back then.
Oh, you never saw Faust?
No.
It was like a total Wolverine ripoff. He had like 1 big claw in each hand instead of 3, and he sliced people in 2. And for some reason, every woman ended up naked. It was something else. David Quinn, for all the things I just said, ended up at Marvel doing Doctor Strange in the mid-90s. And it was a good run. It was an interesting Doctor Strange run. He brought back Doctor Strange's superhero costume from the late 60s near the end of his run, and kind of did all sorts of interesting things with the title. And then he was gone. Bye, David Quinn. And I'm not sure if he did much of anything else since. So we're not responsible for Faust. We didn't start the Faust. We didn't do it. I don't know why you're blaming us. Richard, what is your first piece of viewer mail?
My first piece of mail is from our friend Nick D. Everyone has their own interests for sure. And this is related to NFTs that we talked about last shows.
Take shelter.
Yes. However, I don't see how anyone can get the same satisfaction of owning a digital NFT of a collectible over a physical copy. There is just something so sterile and charmless about owning a bunch of ones and zeros. It doesn't even feel like owning it. Buying a slab physical comic can already feel impersonal simply because you can't touch the comic book. But it is still at least a tactile appeal to it, and you have it in your home and can display it and literally feel the weight of history it carries. NFTs just don't have that. Also, how long until Marvel starts dropping new release comics as NFTs with special NFT-only variant covers?
Next week.
Yeah, Nick. This is you've raised a lot of good points. And as I talked about during the previous show, as long as NFTs and comics are in 2 different genres, that's fine. NFTs, people who want to collect NFTs can collect NFTs. People who want to collect comic books can collect comic books, because I don't consider NFTs comic books. The point that you raised in your last sentence there, I think, is really important. What happens if Marvel kind of crosses that line and starts selling comic books that are only available in NFT format, covers and such? That gets to be a very interesting world. And I think
happening already, not from comics, but in other spaces, music, sports. It's already happening.
yeah, I understand the appeal of selling digital products, because there is no inventory you have to worry about, there is no shipping you have to worry about, and you can make it as many as the market bears without having to pre-plan. But as I said, they're not comic books, and I think and you start diluting and you start mixing and conflating the two, is when you start having problems about keeping both groups of people happy.
Let me take you both on a journey to the early 2000s when CGC was first announced. This takes me back. The reaction to NFTs is exactly the reaction that people had to slabbing books back then. It was, how could you? These are meant to be read. These are meant to be admired and flipped through, and now you're sealing it in a plastic case, never to be touched again. I refuse to do this. There were dealers, they're still dealers, that refused to deal in slabbed books. So, I shrug my shoulders and go, okay, we'll see you guys in 20 years.
Right, but they're still comics. I can do a transaction with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're still comics, and of course, they're protected in that case. I can do a transaction with you face to face. I can hand you the comic book in the slab, and you can hand me cash, right? With these NFTs, that's not a possible transaction.
Or you can do it all over the internet like you do.
Sure.
And never deal with another person in person.
That's true. But that's a one-to-one transaction, right? You don't have a middleman that you have to go through for the transaction.
Right. Well, CGC, because they're grading the book and encapsulating it and sending it to you.
Right, but they're not keeping the books and then shipping, they're not a middleman in the process. They grade the books, that's true. And that process helps determine a fixed value for that comic that you can use to make that transaction.
I would challenge the statement that they're not keeping your books. I think they're keeping your books for a long time.
Well, this is true. This is true.
Speaking of CGC, a total aside, I have noticed something very unusual with their turnaround times, Richard.
Oh, what's that?
Remember when I took the books to TorpedoCon and dropped them off in person with CGC? That was July 24th. The books were received Fast Track Modern and Standard. No Fast Track, Standard. The books were received on August 10th. They were graded and shipped to me on August 19th. I have my books back from TorpedoCon in less than a month.
That is insane. I don't know why.
I think it's because they recognized me and said, oh my God, we have to hurry. No, absolutely not. I don't know. That was the experiment. Remember the experiment? Like, what happens if I turn them in as opposed to mailing them in? So the turnaround time was less than 30 days. How's your turnaround time going for your Fast Track Moderns?
My Fast Track Moderns came back. So
for how long?
I mailed them on April 26th because I did it before the April 28th cutoff. And the first batch arrived last week.
Okay. Well, it wasn't 30 days, but it was more like 77.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I've still got some books that are still waiting to be graded.
I think the point is my books were received a lot quicker than everyone else's, because I think they're only on late June now in terms of receiving. So if they're coming to a show near you, you might want to do a drop off.
Even if they're not coming to a show near you, if you have enough books to justify a road trip, it may be worth your while.
Exactly. All right. My next piece of viewer mail is from jhuber98 on Instagram. Hey, John and Richard, big fan of the channel. Thank you. I got a couple of great books today, but found out after I got what I think might be mold. Didn't know if you guys had covered that topic before. Here are the books I picked up. I'm going to bring it up now. Bone number 1 with mold on the back.
Oh, no.
Or J. Huber 98. Just trying to figure out if these can be salvaged or if they're an unfortunate loss. Well, if it was any other book besides Bone number 1, I would tell you, get rid of them now. Throw them out. Mold is toxic. It's evil. It will spread. It will spread to your pressing equipment. It will spread to your other books. No, 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 no. Get rid of it. It's Bone number 1. There are some people in the cleaning and pressing community that claim they can handle mold with solutions like hydrogen peroxide and water, and I'm too scared to even attempt such a thing, especially on a book like Bone number 1. So my suggestion to you is do some Googling. Hero Restoration might have an answer for you. Find a really reputable cleaning service, a restoration service, and see if they can remove it.
I don't know. Even for Bone number 1. Now, if it was a Fantastic Four number 1,
Yeah.
I would leap through a large number of hoops to find a solution. For Bone number 1, even though it's a valuable book, John mentions that mold can spread and it can infect your environment. And depending on what kind of mold it is, it can be very dangerous. So, unless you've got a real personal attachment, which it doesn't really sound like you just bought this book recently, um, I, I I hate to say it, but it may be time to get rid of them because you don't want to live. You don't want to bring something hazardous into your environment.
It's such a shame. He had
Yeah.
1 through 3. He sent more pictures than the other ones. And
First print.
I believe they're all first prints. I didn't
Mhm.
take too much time to look at them, but they all have mold on the back on that
Yeah.
black cover, and it's a heartbreak. I thought maybe when I inspected them that he could get away with them being foxing, but no, it's mold. So sorry, Jehu.
Yeah. Yeah. It also goes to the point that you need to inspect your books. When you buy books, you need to inspect not just the front cover, but the back cover as well.
Yeah, see if you can return them. I mean, mold is a big, big no-no.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
All right, what do you have next?
My next piece of feedback is from Random Poster.
Hmm.
Um, and he's again talking about NFTs. First, you need to purchase gems. Hand meets palm, and I tune out and walk away from the idea. If you have to take cash and reroute it to gems, then Ethereum to make the purchase, but if you sell it, you get gems back and not cash, then it's an idea you need to skip. Yeah, this is something that I think people have glossed over in this whole VV process because when you can't buy one of these digital collectibles with dollars, you have to buy it with gems, and part of the reason why is because behind the scenes there is a um, Ethereum transaction that converts your cash into that currency. So it goes from cash to gems, and then you can use those gems to buy your particular collectible. If you decide to sell it, then it changes to OMI, which is another digital currency that is VV owns. To get it from OMI to cash, you have to actually send it to an exchange and then use the exchange to convert. It's this whole process to
There-
cash out.
There's good news. You can't do the straight conversion from gems to OMI yet. But it gets even better. Right on the horizon, VV has announced that they're working on a solution to convert your gems to straight ahead, straight up cash.
Mhm.
So it is coming. It's, as they say in this business, it's on the roadmap.
Yeah, it's on the roadmap. But the other part to this is that digital currency. While they guarantee $1 will buy you one gem,
Yeah.
on the other end of the process, there is a the digital currency can fluctuate
Mhm.
based on the dollar. So when you actually go to cash out, instead of it being a 1-to-1 ratio, it may be every OMI is worth 85 cents.
Yeah.
Or it could be worth $1.15, to be honest with you. So you're at the mercy of whatever the exchange rate is at the time you try to cash out.
And that's a great segue to the next piece of viewer mail I have from Wolf Warner, who says, by the way, speaking of fluctuations, the floor price for Marvel Comics #1, the common NFT, has risen. Correct. It was $1 last week. Now it's $10. So here's my theory on that. Marvel Comics #1 was the first Marvel NFT as a comic book, as an NFT. And I think that's the one people are gravitating to. It's the one that's holding the most value. It's the one that's actually going up. So far, all the other commons, there were 3 more drops last week or this previous week. All the other commons are around $3 or $4 still. They haven't gone up, but Marvel has. There is no real way in the marketplace yet to see sold transactions. However, thanks to some very enterprising people, there is a tracking spreadsheet that I will link to in the description. It is maintained by someone named Butt Thompson. So,
Okay.
Butt Thompson is tracking these sales, and I will link to it for any interested parties to see what the different variants are going for, et cetera, et cetera. But Marvel 1 NFT is creeping up there. I think I might buy one before it gets too crazy, because we've seen more and more people jumping in each time they release something. When they release Ultimate Fallout 4 as an NFT or Amazing Fantasy 15 as an NFT, we're going to get even more people into this sector of the hobby.
Right. I'm kind of curious about their choices for this last round of drops. You know,
you guys didn't see, it was House of X #1. What? It was Marvel's #1. Double, huh?
right.
The New Mutants 98. Okay, yeah, there's one. Good, thank you. And I got a New Mutants 98, a couple of commons. I didn't get anything interesting. But Richard, you actually jumped in this time, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I was prepared this time, and I got my gems up front, and I sat there and watched the countdown. And as soon as it got down to 0, I hit the button, and I ended up with an ultra rare for the New Mutants 98.
I hate you. Okay, what's the viewer mail?
My next piece of viewer mail is from Alex Goodwin. I have been making my way through all of your videos. I'm sorry, some of the early ones are pretty painful. As I'm getting down to your earliest videos, it's painful to hear how much prices have changed in just a single year.
Along with beard color.
Along with beard color. Example, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Our first show, I went back and kind of looked and did some comparisons. Our first show was back in April 12th of 2020. Looking back, I also see we use the word iconic a lot. We may want to rethink the usage of that. The book that we highlighted that first show was Wolverine #1 from the limited series. And it, as a 9.8 at the time, was $351. I remember it was hovering around that 350, 400 for a long time.
Yeah.
The last sale of that same book now is $855. It's gone up all the way up to 900 plus, but it's now come down a little bit to $855. So yeah, in that short period of time, from April 12th to today, the value of that book is more than doubled. I also looked at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, not #2, but #1. And this is the third print because normal humans can't afford the first print. And a 9.8 then was $1,325. Today, that same 9.8 is $4,200.
Wow.
So again, another tripling of value in the period that we've been doing the show. So
wow.
It's amazing how the market really just has spiked here recently.
And just a few more stats from then till now. April 12th, 2020, I had a 31-inch waist, and as of last week, it's about 34.
Yes, this was before COVID, right before COVID, but before COVID. Yeah.
So I need to get rid of my my COVID 20. Not that bad. I've lost a lot. I was porking out there.
Well, thanks, Alex, for going through our catalog. It is an interesting trip through history. Maybe we should do that. We should have like a time lapse of your beard across all the different shows.
Are we done talking about my waistline? I see how you moved on real quick.
I tried to help you.
All right. Well, no Instagram Market Watch this week. Ali and Bill need a break. They both are taking vacation this week. If you're watching the live sales on the elite_comics11 account on Instagram, you'll see that they have other hosts. So they're sticking to their word. They are taking a vacation. They will be back next week with the Instagram Market Watch. And that's going to do it for us this week. There's that saying again that I hate. I just said it. That's going to do it for us. We're going to be taking out a shot.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Yes. I got to find a better way to close things. We're going to close things up for now until Monday. Just a reminder to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Broads and Modern Gods. We have a live sale tonight, Friday, August 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Please join us and hang out. No reason to buy anything. We just want to see you there. And we will see you on Monday. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, John. Everybody stay safe.